Greetings fans, hyperfans, and people just lost looking for videos of cats on YouTube. It's the middle of Spring Festival or Chinese New Year, and I want to talk to you a little bit about Lego in China. Recently Lego has done quite a bit to try and protect themselves in China because there were a lot of other companies making Lego-like products. Now, they've taken a lot of companies to court in China, including Lepin and Enlighten, who were all using the square red logo, very similar to Lego, but they've also been trying to actually promote Lego as a brand within China. Now, Lego is actually more expensive in China than it is in Europe because it's imported, and they really are having to promote themselves as a premium brand out there. They're opening a huge number of Lego stores in Shanghai, Beijing, a few other places, and they're doing some Asia exclusive sets. These include a big Chinese New Year gathering set, which is a house build with whole bunch of minifigures and some specifically printed parts. And they've also done this Dragon Dance set, which is a really nice animated set with a cam system so that the dragon actually moves up and down, and it's got the pig suit guy in the front. And I can really see where they're going with this. Now, the biggest problem for me with this being a Chinese New Year set is you don't have dragon dances at Chinese New Year. At this point, I'm going to move these out the way. And bring in a parcel that I have just received from China. Okay, so let me just open this up. Now, these are actually two sets designed by Chinese companies using copies of Lego pieces, but these are people who actually know what's going on in China. So I'll start with the smaller of the two. We have a minifigure. I have to say that I'm not 100% happy that that back piece doesn't stay on particularly well. Let's just bring that up. So that print is quite nice. With the backpack piece, the head does sit a little bit high up. And the face is printed maybe a little bit too high up to really work with the beard. But here you have, and I'm now got to turn to this book, a little Lego version of Wen Saishen, who is the patron of scholarly wealth, typically depicted wearing civil servant's robes, including the official's gauze hat, which they're using a handlebar piece for, as well as a long moustache and beard. You see pictures of him a lot at Chinese New Year, amongst other traditional decorations. And that explains what's in this bag. So part of Spring Festival celebrations, especially in southern China, are decorating the house with kumquat trees. And that's what you've got in here. So quite simple pieces. There's only 11 different brick types there. But let's put this together and make a kumquat tree. have your two kumquat trees and your little Chinese god. We had an extra one of these in the packet, so I actually put that on his back and put his talisman in his hand. That's a really nice build. It did come with a few extra pieces, and if I turn that round, you can see that there was a little bit of mold issue with one of them, but I think I paid just under £5 for this, including shipping, so I'm really not complaining. It's a quite intricate build, and it's really quite dense, the amount that you actually put on each of those trees. Took me about 15 minutes per tree, so that's a half-hour build in a bag for £5. And just as a Chinese New Year thing, it's really quite fun to do. Some of it was frustrating, but because each of these pieces is sort of round sitting on square, it's a really organic look to it. You could build 100 of these and no two would be absolutely identical. Now, the other set that I got, if I just move these to one side, actually does come with an instruction sheet, is in a few more bags, and this is a set of lion dancers. So this kind of very much feels as though it's a response to the Lego official set, and actually is more representative of what you'd see over Chinese New Year. So let's start opening this up. And unfortunately, unlike Lego, these pieces aren't collected in the order that you put them together, so I'm probably going to be doing a lot of leaping between bags, but I'll try and get the minifigures out first. So you've actually got 5 minifigures in this piece, but it's the same body print on each of them, except actually for this one. She seems to have a little bit more key lining around the toggles, and obviously she has a female face compared to the others, which are all pretty much identical. No back print, all the faces are, if I can get the hair off, single-sided. I'd have probably liked a bit more printing on the legs in case you wanted to move it backwards, but that's not a huge issue. Actually really nicely done, quite heavily printed. Some other figures, the blacks turn out a lot greyer, but they're rather nice. So you only have 3 different types of hairpiece, so these are all the same mould, but obviously this is a lighter colour, and then you have the high ponytail for her. But if I put them off to one side, let's see if I can start to actually build the set. Whilst the part count on this isn't much higher than the kumquat trees, it's a far more intricate build. You end up with a flag waver, with a lamppost full of firecrackers. You have a girl with the cymbals, and that's a really nice use of the flipper pieces as tassels. You have the lion himself, and you have a drummer and set of drums. I really want to love this set, but there are a couple of issues with it. So moving from left to right, the use of these very heavy pieces for the flag means you can't really stand this chap up on his own. He is currently attached to the lamppost at the base, because if he isn't, he will fall over, and so will the lamppost. The instrument players are both really nice, and I'm more than happy with them, but the main event really is the lion. And while I can really see that the starting point of this set was it's lion dances for New Year, this lion, he kind of leaves a lot to be desired. My biggest problem with him is that it's not actually two minifigures. We have a stack of 2x1 bricks there, in the same colour as the uniform, but it just isn't good. If they'd just been a little bit cleverer at engineering, letting another minifigure hold the head, it would have really gone a long way to forgiving this. The clips on the side which hold the paws on, it's this odd collection of off-sided clips, and it just kind of lets it down a bit. Coming into the set, there is one huge drawback doing a kit like this, especially with that much red and white, which is usually the two colours these Lego-like sets have most problems with. It's red and white. Now, this isn't the worst red plastic that I've seen, but it doesn't feel quite up to Lego standards. I mean, it's a shame because I really want to love this set, but it just falls short kind of all over the shop, really. Now, irrespective of your thoughts on what these companies are doing with Lego-like figures and sets, I think that the attempts to make things that are culturally appropriate to the audiences they're intended for is an interesting way to go. I mean, in China, kids aren't actually wanting to be given these sets for Chinese New Year, they're expecting hongbao of money. But what they spend that money on may indeed be sets like these. Now, of the two sets that we ordered, this one, the trees and the figure, it's amazing. I could not recommend it high enough if this is what you want to put into your collection. This set, which I believe is from a different manufacturer, the plastic does feel different. I have to say, has some interesting ideas, just not executed to the best of its ability. If you're interested in picking either of these up, I'll put links in the description below. And until next time, if you're keeping the mint in package, you're not a toy collector, you're a box collector.